Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Genesis Wrestling High Voltage. Here with me, as always, is NGW head official Scott Cross. Scott, how are you doing this week?
It's been a busy week. Work's been kicking my butt. Transition over to the new shift next week, but doesn't matter because we are 16 days away from Madness and Mayhem.
Yes, we certainly are. 16 days. Saturday, March 15th at the Luce Civic Center in Mascoutah, Illinois. NGW Madness and Mayhem. It's going to be one heck of a show. Hello, Dardar.
Yeah, I mean this card is unbelievably stacked. I mean, the announcements after because we had a little bit of time for the build up for the show, and we get every week we get a new match, and it just keeps getting better and better.
Endless Winter ended, we had a match announced.
I mean, the one match that I'm looking forward to, the TLC match, the Heathen Army versus the Fan versus TNT. And we found out when we had the Heathens on that all three members of the Great Heathen Army are going to be legal in this match. So it is 3-on-2. But
yeah,
we do have a little ace in this little match because a little gentleman by LBK, he got involved a little bit, with Reinar.
He is a cousin of the fam, and him and Reinar got into it at the end of the match.
He's not signed with NGW that I know of. Is he going to play a factor in this match? But, because anything's legal in a TLC match. The only way to win is to grab those titles,
Yep, and of course, we are also going to be having Marco Hendricks, one of the newest members of PYT, going up against Sid Holland for the Wrestling for a Cure Championship.
Yes. Marco Hendricks made his, debut into PYT at Centralia Slam. And
yeah, after he did a little bit of a sneak attack on Ricky Cruz there.
Yep. So, with him joining PYT, he's got PYT's back. PYT's got his back for the Wrestling for a Cure Championship. But, it's Sid Holland, though. Sid don't care. Sid's going to destroy anybody. And any member of PYT that gets in his way, I think Sid's going to knock him out. So
it could be, as Playboy Double H, when he was on, he predicted that 2025 is going to be the year of PYT. That
could be of it. I mean, yeah. What would happen if Marco Hendricks walks out of Madness and Mayhem, the Wrestling for a Cure heavyweight champion?
Yep. And speaking of championships, we are going to have Preacher's first title defense as the NGW Lightning Division Championship against Logan Ridge.
Yeah,
and these have actually already faced off before for the right to fight contract.
For that title, yes. And Preacher cashed in. Now it's for the NGW Lightning Division title.
Yeah, poor TJ didn't even get to celebrate.
I mean, he
didn't even get announced.
No, he didn't. I mean, got to new, and then Preacher's music hit, and man, poor TJ. But he had that contract, and he cashed it in the right moment.
Yes, he did. But as we've said before, it wasn't a cakewalk for Preacher, though.
No, TJ fought back, but TJ wasn't 100% whenever Preacher got in that ring. So. And Preacher knew that. So Preacher just waited, did a couple more moves, and then that's all TJ could handle. And, we walked out. And TJ is now, what is it, the shortest Lightning Division champion in NGW history. So.
Well, he was the third Lightning Division champion.
Yeah. Shortest.
And also the shortest reign.
Yeah. So, yeah,
And we're also going to be having Mickey Midas returning to NGW to face Dexter Roswell for the NGW Heavyweight Championship. And these two met last time at Endless Winter, and heck of a match. Dexter got a little sneak up roll on Mickey Midas. And then after the match, Dexter went to shake Mickey's hand, and Mickey kind of did a little bit of a sneak attack on him there, laid him out.
Mm-hmm.
And that really seemed like a message of we're not done yet. And here we're going to have round two. But now they know each other.
Yep. I think Dexter was giving Mickey a little bit of benefit of the doubt, but now he knows what Mickey's capable of now, and he's going to pull nothing off to get that NGW Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, but Mickey has a better understanding of Dexter as well.
Yeah, that is true. That one is going to be a great rematch.
Yeah. Then, of course, we're also, for the first time, for the last time, the Freak versus the King of Chaos in Pretty Boy Floyd's final match against Ricky Cruz.
Yep, these two legends stepping in the ring, first time together, in front of NGW now. This is the first time ever them meeting one-on-one.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately...
absolutely long careers. We
I
had
know.
Freak on last week. It was wonderful time, wonderful. He's had such a long career, and, like I said, it's sad to see it end, but it's great he can go out on his own terms.
Yep. And Ricky Cruz said it was going to be no cakewalk for Floyd. Floyd got that win at IWA over CW Graves, went out on top there. He's looking to get the W here against Ricky Cruz, but Ricky said he's not holding anything back, and he knows Floyd's not going to hold anything back. And Floyd even said he's expecting a fight from Ricky Cruz.
Yeah. And, of course, we also have our guest tonight, Shazza McKenzie, going up against the lovely Miss Larkin in the second round for the qualifiers for the brand new NGW Women's Championship.
Yeah, Shazza McKenzie's, she's making a return to NGW. The last time she was here, it was her and Lexi Green. She didn't come out on top, but, now it's been a while. Shazza's a different Shazza. She's been out traveling the world, and now she's looking to qualify and become the first ever NGW Women's Champion, but she's going up against a debuting lovely Miss Larkin.
Yeah, let's take a look at just some of Shazza's accomplishments. She has been the Heart of Shimmer champion, WrestleMax STL Women's Championship, WSW Women's Championship, PWE, PWWA, ASWA, ROW, IWC, 17 plus years. She has wrestled for WWE, TNA, AEW, Ring of Honor, MLW, wrestled in 9 different countries. And fun fact, she was listed on the 2024 PWI Women's at number 49.
Yeah, I mean,
look at that list of championships, and she has the chance to be the first NGW Women's Champion.
I mean, she is well traveled. She has been all over the world traveling and wrestling. I mean, she's been in this is probably not her first tournament for a women's champion. I guarantee this is probably not her first. She's been all over the world. So
let's go ahead and bring on our guests for this evening, Shazza McKenzie.
Hello.
Hello. How are you
the
doing?
big one or am I the little one?
Yep.
I'm
No.
the big one.
You're the big one.
Yes, thank you for joining us, Shazza.
Thank you for having me.
You're coming in to compete in the championship to crown the first ever NGW Women's Championship.
Yes.
And we saw your long list of accomplishments. And the first thing I want to know is, have you been the first women's champion in a promotion?
I have. I was the first women's champion at WrestleMax STL, and that was just maybe a year ago, maybe a bit more than a year ago when I won that. I was the first Renegades of Wrestling in Australia women's champion. I won a tournament for that. I'm trying to all of these I won tournaments for. I'm trying to think. I think that might be the only ones that I won that I was the inaugural. But I might be wrong. 17 years is a long time to get hit in the head, so it means I've been forgotten a lot.
So these are familiar grounds for you to trot on, being not only the first, but being part of a tournament to be the first.
Yes. Something I've experienced many times.
Does the first champion feel different than winning a championship from somebody?
Yes, because it's like the first champion is like it sets the tone. It sets the tone for what that belt is going to mean, what is going to represent for the remainder of it's run like it sets the start. It starts it off, and you want to be the first champion because then you've shown that you are the the cornerstone, the start, the beginning, the trailblazer, the leader of what that division is going to be within that company.
Yeah, only one person can ever be the first.
Exactly.
So 17 years. How did you get your start?
Gosh, so I started watching wrestling as a teenager because I'm old. Not to age myself. So I started watching as a teenager, and basically I fell in like as soon as I saw it, I fell in love, and I was like, "This is it. This is the only thing that matters in my life." And I stopped doing anything else that I was doing with my life, and solely watched wrestling and became obsessed with wrestling and was consumed by professional wrestling. I was on the forums and everything like that. I was like writing little role plays and everything because this was before Facebook, before Twitter, before all of that. And basically, I just Googled. I just Googled. I wanted to, my initial plan as a 16-year-old was to save up lots of money and go train with Lance Storm over in Canada. But then 16-year-olds aren't great with money. So that didn't happen. And then I just Googled and went to the closest school when I was 19.
Yep. Dara is asking Shazam. I think there's a little bit of an autocorrect there. What inspired you?
What inspired me? The moment that I fell in love with professional wrestling was when I saw Trish Stratus, because I was like, wow, she's one the most amazingly stunning, gorgeous people I've ever seen in my entire life. And then she was just kicking ass, and I started watching. She was doing. It was when she just turned on Jericho, and she was with Christian, and they did like a handicap match. And while she was still like getting her ass beat, she was in there. And like, I mean, that is the last time I think they've done any sort of intergendering on that platform. But like, I was like, this is it. And I don't know, it was just like this inspiring moment. I always wanted to be a performer. Like, growing up, I wanted to sing, I wanted to dance, I wanted to act, I wanted to be in the spotlight. But I didn't really know what my thing was. And then as soon as I saw Trish and wrestling, I was like, this is it. I want to beat people up and look really cool while I do it.
Oh, Ariel wants to know what your favorite belt design of the belts you've won is.
This is a tough one. Gosh, what is my favorite belt design? It's probably the Heart of Shimmer belt, just because it was a very classic design, and it was the Shimmer belt. So winning a belt in Shimmer is such a high accomplishment as a professional wrestler. So to have had that bestowed upon me is it was beautiful, and it went with everything, and it was Shimmer, so it has to be the nicest.
And you got your career in Australia. Career started in Australia.
Yes.
And that was at a school or was part of a promotion?
So I started with first started training with this company called AWF, which is essentially, if you're in Sydney in Australia, when you Google where to become a professional wrestler, especially back in 2007 when I started wrestling, that was the first thing that would come up. And then once I started wrestling and I started training and like learning a bit more about like independent wrestling and the local scene and everything like that, I ended up moving over to Pro Wrestling Australia. Where I trained there and became a trainer and wrestled for PWA from 2009 until, well, I wrestled there in January. So I wrestled there when I go back home. Like they've been my home and my my support system for nearly 2 decades.
Oh, Dara wants to know which promotion was your favorite to wrestle at.
I mean, that's a tough one, right? Like, PWA is always my favorite because it's like my home. And then, but over here in Australia, but in America, like I think it's so like no one promotion or one company or whatever is my favorite place. I have like favorite venues to wrestle in, and more so like I love wrestling in Logan Square Auditorium. I feel like it has just such a uh, ambience no matter what. And so, but back home in Australia, wrestling for PWA will always be the best.
Okay. You mentioned Trish inspired your character. How has it evolved over time and is more like you now?
Gosh, I mean, my character is just me now. Like, it's so cliche. My character is me with the volume turned up to 1,000. You've heard it 1,000 times. But like, it truly is like it's just me and me being who I am as a person, and who I am as a person is someone that wants to still be girly, but also wants to beat people up, and then also just doesn't know what she's doing half the time, and gosh, just so many. Yeah, it's just like a combination of everything, and then it's just become who I am, I guess. Where Shazza ends and real life me starts, it's the blending is we're not sure anymore.
So we had that you've wrestled in 9 different countries, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So how do the crowds compare in the different countries that you've wrestled in? Is there a different mood between the different countries, or different way that everybody reacts?
Yeah, there definitely is. So I two of the countries that I wrestled in were Malaysia and Singapore, that definitely don't get wrestling on a very regular basis at all. I was very blessed to be part of the first all women's wrestling show to ever happen in Singapore. And like the crowd there was the crowd in Singapore, the crowd in Malaysia, they were both just so grateful that we had, traveled there to wrestle for them. And I'm like, you're grateful of course I'm here. This is the coolest thing I've ever, like, I'm wrestling, and who gets to say that they do? Of course I'm here. Why would I not be here? So it, like, there's that sort of vibe in a crowd. And then like an indie crowd in like in Australia or in England or like even like Germany and America and stuff are all very similar. New Zealand as well. But then, like, I just came back from, well, didn't just come, I was in Japan, wrestling in Japan in November last year. And that's a very different style, like, not style of crowd, like, but the crowd reacts a bit differently. It's more of a like, oh, wow, you did really good. And then, yeah, let's go, whatever they're yelling, whatever dumb thing indie fans yell at these events these days.
Dar asking, who would you want to wrestle in the future, either a mixed tag or just one-on-one?
Ooh,
I bet there's quite a list for you.
Yeah.
I was like, that is such a loaded question, because there's like anyone and everyone. Like, I love that intergender wrestling is a thing, because I think that not doing intergender wrestling sometimes really only harms the girls, because at the end of the day, the like when a guy learns to wrestle and then they go out in the world and they start professional wrestling. Sorry, my cat is joining us. And join when a guy starts training and goes out in the world and starts wrestling, he has like thousands of possible opponents. Whereas if you eliminate intergender wrestling and a girl goes out, the amount of people that she can learn from and grow from and wrestle with is significantly smaller. So I think it just greatly benefits the females that are coming up in professional wrestling to do intergender wrestling. My dream match that I used to say for forever was Deonna Purrazzo, and then I wrestled her last year on AEW. But it's still my dream match because I'd like to wrestle her for more than 2 minutes. Like, I think a solid, give us like 15, 20 minutes and we'll we'll make some magic.
What drew you from Australia to the St. Louis area?
So I'd been traveling to America to wrestle since 2012. And when I had my little midlife crisis and applied for a work visa to America, and then it got approved, I had to figure out where in America I was going to live. And I did a map of America because I'd done maybe like somewhere between 15 and 20 trips to America to wrestle over like 11 years. So I did a map of everywhere that I wrestled, and I worked out where the most places were that would have regular bookings, if that makes sense. And that was Chicago. And then I looked at the cost of living in Chicago, and I said, maybe not, maybe we'll move it down a little bit. And then I ended up in St. Louis.
Well, interesting thing about the St. Louis area, I'm not sure if you knew, is actually back during the original territory days. St. Louis was the number 2 wrestling region, only behind the New York area.
Isn't that crazy? Wrestling at the Chase, right?
Exactly.
I see. I'm a St. Louisian now. I know my things, kind of, not really.
So on March 15th at Madness and Mayhem, you step in with a debut in Lovely Miss Larkin, which you're used to debuting wrestlers because you've been all over the world. But have you guys ever met together? No.
This is a first time matchup. I've met her many times. We've shared many a locker room, but this is the first time that we are sharing a ring together.
Well, you know, she's a little, I don't want to say out there, but little crazy, I can guess.
Yes.
How do you prepare for an opponent like that?
You prepare how you prepare always. You just know that you have to trust what you know and how you like the training you've done, the work you've put in, the effort you've done to become who you are, and you just have to trust that that is enough and that you will be able to put everything that you've learned in life together and become successful with it in the match, but in life, probably, maybe, hopefully in life as well, but specifically in the match, but hopefully successful in just general.
So you've had, Ariel wants to know what it's like walking into events where it's the first time to have an all-women show. Does it make more of an impact for you personally?
I mean, I always love when I get to share the locker room. The more women that are in a locker room with me, the better. I enjoy being around them, especially because this is just such a male-dominated industry. No matter how progressive and how it will always be male-dominated. It just is what it is. So whenever there's a chance to have a large group of women in a locker room together, I just think it just brings a different vibe. Like, we're always there to like prove that we deserve to be there and that we earned our right and that we're just as good as the guys and all those things. And when it's just girls and there's just a large amount of girls on the show, it brings us all together in our crusade against the men.
So 17 years in professional wrestling. What keeps you motivated to keep doing it?
My visa. It's the only thing I legally can do in this country. So, and I don't want to get kicked out. But no, it's the only thing it's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. Like, I know at some point I will physically not be able to do it. Hopefully, knock on wood, that's not anytime soon. But like it's always been it's the only thing that I've ever done in my life that has been so that has consumed me and has connected with me and has made it just makes sense and it just is my thing and it's all I've ever known and I I've done some crazy, like who the hell throws away their life in their 30s and moves to America because of wrestling? Me. So this, I got to do it. I just got to keep going.
So this will be your second time that we're seeing you in New Genesis Wrestling. The first time that we saw you, it was against Lexi Green, and incredible match. You got some really good maneuvers and hits in. You got good boot to the face right there.
I was like, these are great photos. I am loving these.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I would have seen them when they first came out, but I'm seeing them again now, and I'm like, wow.
And you got.
I look scared.
But Lexi Green actually won the first match for the tournament to be the first ever NGW Women's Champion. So there's the chance that you could be facing her again.
Which means I can get my win back.
Yeah.
Underdog story. Come back, make it's a beautiful story. Who doesn't love the underdog that comes back and takes down the big evil dominating force? I'm not the big evil dominating force. I'm the underdog.
Oh, she definitely is the dominating force in the women's division right now.
Yeah.
And we have our co-CEO Phoenix Quinn in the chat saying, "Love having you in the NGW locker room. See you soon."
Oh, everyone's so sweet. I mean, this is also, these comments are so sweet. Oh, it feels very nice. I always love being loved.
And the first time that I actually remember seeing you was on AEW television. And that was your appearance at All Out. Here you are getting kicked in the head by Dr. Britt Baker.
It's such a stunning photo. I wish I looked like that right now. I just look so I'm just so happy to be getting kicked in the face. It's just, I wish I just looked that flawless all the time, though.
Oh, Phoenix Quinn, you are definitely an asset to women's wrestling.
That's very sweet. Oh. I try to be. I think it's so important to pass on and make sure that you know the whole crap about making sure that the business is better when you leave it, or all of that. I think I genuinely believe in all of that stuff. So I think that it's our duty to pay it forward and to make things better as we slowly progress in the world and in wrestling.
Well, Muscuda, Illinois, where our home venue, the Lou Civic Center, is. Scott and I actually just learned this a little bit ago, that Muscuda, Illinois is actually the home of the first women's tag team match in the state of Illinois.
Wow.
Yep, we have a newspaper advertisement.
Oh my goodness.
And it was sponsored by the Lions Club, held at the Muscuda Community High School gym.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
What year here's the interesting thing. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
When that match would have happened, the Muscuda Community High School was where the Lou Civic Center is. That same building.
That's insane. What are the chances? What are the chances?
So you have wrestled in the same building where the first women's tag match in the state of Illinois occurred.
That's wild. That's so wild. That's really cool. I love that.
I mean, you could just be blazing even more of a historical trail in the state of Illinois women wrestling. Oh, Dara would like to know, how did you feel facing Lexi Green? Were you scared?
I'm never scared. I'm tough. I mean, a little, but only a little. Then I got over it. Put my big girl pants on. and did it.
Yep. We had Lexi Green on last month, Scott, was it?
Yeah, it was last month.
And she actually came up with the idea that she was going to make a voodoo doll of Scott.
Yeah, all because of his idea. He decided that because she had a voodoo doll of lovely Miss Larkin.
Lovely Miss Larkin.
And, she said that, she was going to be watching this match because, the winner moves on in the tournament now and gets one step closer to her. So she said she wasn't really scared of you, but she had that lovely Miss Larkin doll, and she was like, if I need to use this. And then he suggested
She should be scared of me.
Then Alex suggested making a voodoo doll of me. So
she should be scared of me because it's been like, gosh, I been nearly a year.
yeah,
time
Yep.
is a circle. So it's a different Shaz. It is going to be me and her in the finals, not if. It is going to be, or we are going to meet, and I'm going to get that win back.
well, an endless winner. She showed up and she didn't have an opponent, and she declared she wanted to buy. And Phoenix came out and said, we're not starting this out, or Phoenix already in the race. She's like, we're not starting this with a buy. So we had a surprise opponent for her with Serena Black, but she was able to pull the victory over Serena. So now she advances. And now she said she's going to be watching this match with you and Larkin.
Well, she can watch it. She can have an enjoyable time watching it. That's all she's going to be doing. Watching.
Yeah, when you faced Lexi last time, I'm not sure if you remember this moment at the beginning of the match where she was upside down hanging on the ring corner, and here's your reaction.
That seems like an accurate. I look. Did I get scared for a second? Maybe, but then we got
I don't
over
think
it.
you looked scared in that picture. More concerned of what am I up against here.
Yeah, we'll go with that. That's definitely not scared. Just concerned. We'll go with concerned. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, she is quite the competitor. As are you. You've excuse me. You've been, as we say, you moved from Australia to the United States. What was the biggest cultural difference that you've experienced in that move?
I mean, it's the food is the biggest difference. Because Australia has a bunch of laws about, I don't know, putting chemicals in your food, and America does not. And America just says, eat it all, let's go. So you just have to accept that everything you're eating has something crazy inside of it that might give you cancer, but that's okay. That's life. You just got to keep going.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Dardar asking, what do you think when you come out for your matches?
Gosh, I don't know if I think. I don't I think. Sorry. It's been a long day. I think before I go out, I'm very, very anxious, and I'm very oh my gosh, what is happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? But once I don't think I think once I'm sure I think to some extent, but it's just such a blur, such a there's tunnel vision, but so nothing outside of what I'm physically doing is on my brain. So even if I'm it becomes a blur. I've become a different person.
So what's been the toughest challenge that you've had to overcome in the ring?
I mean, I'm not very athletic, so that's a pretty big challenge.
Good for me.
So I've had to work very hard at getting stronger, getting faster, getting more powerful. All of those things I've had to really, 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 really work my ass off to get better at. And I just keep working on that to be the best, the strongest, the fastest, the toughest. Never going to be the tallest, but take what we can.
What is one moment of your career that you're the most proud of?
Gosh, I've done a lot of really cool things. I have this one match that I had in Australia. It was for House of Hardcore back in 2017, and I wrestled my trainer, Madison Eagles, and on this show, it was the first time the Young Bucks had come to Australia. There was like Tommy Dreamer. There was, gosh, Billy Gunn. There was an array of famous people that, and I think there was about 2,500 people there. And let's be honest, they all bought tickets for the Bucks and everything. I remember that was the craziest merch line I've ever seen, because that was peak. We are peak Bullet Clubbing here. So I had this match, and when I remember when we came out for the match, no one, like maybe like 30, 40 people there knew who we were, but like for the most part, no one had a clue who we were. And then by the end of it, we had them like going nuts and going crazy. And I remember getting back and like Dreamer and everyone being like, this, like, that was the best women's match we've ever seen. And then got us booked on the next tour and the next tour and the next tour. And so being able to perform in a situation like that, where like, one, the crowd doesn't care for women's wrestling when you come out, and two, doesn't care for anyone that isn't an international wrestling superstar wrestling on New Japan and Ring of Honor at the time. And to get them to be so far behind us and so into our match that's my favorite, that's my proudest accomplishment. It's just this little match that no one will ever see.
Tyler Adams, looking forward to seeing Shazza versus lovely Miss Larkin.
Me too.
So if you weren't wrestling, what do you think you'd be doing?
I would be doing spreadsheets.
Oh, Microsoft Excel.
I love spreadsheets. I would do back home in Australia for many, many years, I did like data analytics and administration work. And it helps me so drastically being able to like use that knowledge into running my business as a professional wrestler, so that I know where I have to be, when I have to be, what's selling, what's not selling, all that stuff, everything like that. Everything has data, everything has spreadsheets, everything is magic. And then I can understand the data and I can analyze it, and then I can profit, ideally.
Scott?
Well, I was going to bring up, about Lexi, because we were talking about Lexi. The first time you met Lexi, you guys had won that one-on-one match. Now it's a little different terms now, because now each match is a qualifying match for the women's tournament, for the women's championship. Lexi came back. Lexi won the first match. Now you're facing in the second match. You could be facing Lexi. Since you were gone, Lexi has joined the Gospel of Damnation with Preacher and Brujo. With let's see.
That does make it a bit tougher.
Yes. Now that she has like backup like that, it's a little bit different to prepare for Lexi with,
But everyone loves an underdog.
Yep,
so
they do.
I'm going to keep fighting. Even if I get knocked down, I'll get back up. Keep fighting, and it's not over until it's over.
Yeah. But Preacher and Brujo, well, they're a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because we actually learned that Lexi had joined up with them during a casket match, which was the last time that we saw Savage in NGW ring. And it's interesting because Preacher and Brujo don't get involved directly in Lexi's matches. They're still out there supporting her. But it's interesting seeing, they like to just stand around and observe, and it's like they're learning and they're just watching, trying to figure out what the next thing that they need to do is. So it could be a situation where all the way at the end of this, you're back in the ring, standing across against Lexi Green, but there are other two essentially wild cards on the outside of the ring that you'd have to contend with as well. I don't think they would directly interfere with the match.
I think I've been in some similar situations, and I think I've been through enough that I know how to keep my eye on the prize and how not to get distracted, not to let the circumstances overwhelm me, and just keep fighting, keep on keeping on.
Oh, Dara asking, what is your favorite moves to do?
Well, I mean, my finishing move, obviously, the Shaztastic Stunner, because who doesn't love a stunner, and who doesn't love a stunner when it's in the splits? That is my favorite move, because it also wins me most matches. So when I hit it, I love it because then I'm a winner. Other than that, gosh, I don't know all of them. Straight a forearm, nothing beats a classic forearm and a chop because they hurt. They might be able to keep coming at you, but it hurts.
So how would you describe your wrestling style?
Kitty. I can hear the kitty doing so. You can hear her scratching on something that she shouldn't be scratching on. I would describe my style as technical, ground-based, but also fast and high fly. Gosh, I don't know. I would describe myself, my style as mine, and so it's no one else's. I am me, and I am unique.
So we've got Kevin Cavini. Would you see yourself facing Lexi Green again?
I mean, if that's what happens in this tournament, if I'm winning, if I plan to win, I probably have to, don't I? So that's my plan.
Yep. I mean, you're obviously no stranger to tournaments. You're a stranger to, being the first champion, so it gives you a little bit of an advantage walking into this tournament because it's going to be opponents you never wrestled before, but you're used to that traveling all over the world. So it gives you a little bit more of an advantage like that walking into a tournament.
Yes, I'm very good at I think I'm very good at adjusting to my circumstances and my situation and thinking on the fly and just going with whatever's being thrust at me, because that's the thing about tournaments. It's not just that you have to wrestle, like you have to wrestle so many different people. It's like that the possibilities of who you could wrestle are so different. Like you can't always just plan for one person. It could be this person, it could be that person, so you have to be ready to just be able to go with the flow and know that what you've done to prepare for yourself is sufficient. I'm so sorry.
So what is you have a moniker, slogan, motto of Heartbreak Core.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
So for many, many years, I was hardcore Shazza McKenzie, and people would chant, "She's hardcore, she's hardcore." Get it? Because it's funny, like hardcore, but hard. I thought it was funny. And then basically, you know, if the pandemic didn't happen, it would have been really cool. And I did this whole thing where filmed all these vignettes with these bloody hearts, and I turned evil. And the whole concept of it was that wrestling broke my heart, and then I was, as a result, going to break everyone else's hearts as for doing it. So now it is a combination of that. It's like, you know, like my heart's been broken, so I'm going to break yours, but also just that I am a bit of a heartbreaker. You know, there's a bit of all of it at it. You know.
So, what is one goal that you haven't achieved in wrestling yet, but you really want to?
That's a hard one because I've somehow managed to achieve everything I wanted to do. So now my goal is really just to keep doing what I'm doing and have fun, and like I don't have this like I don't have like this one specific thing, because I think if you get like too caught up on one specific thing, you drive yourself insane. But like, you know, I'd love to win some more titles. I'd love to travel around even more. But you know, really more than anything, I just want to make sure that my goal is just to make sure I'm always having fun. I don't want to keep doing this if I'm not having fun, or if I'm not creating, if I'm not contributing. I really am looking forward to moving more into like a coaching role in the future, and like helping train and coach the younger generations as things progress.
If there's one venue or one like area that you love performing in front of, that like, I mean, obviously Australia's home, but like, is there one in the States that almost feels like home, like it is Australia? Like every time you return, it feels like home.
Yeah, Logan Square Auditorium. That's my favorite in Chicago. That's my favorite place to wrestle. They're in Berwyn, like both two Chicago places, but Berwyn is such a special place because of Shimmer, and I'm very blessed that I get to wrestle there still in 2025. And then Logan Square Auditorium is it's such a stunning venue, and I also got to wrestle there all the way back in the Shimmer days. I had my first Shimmer main event in Logan Square Auditorium, so it's something I'm very blessed about.
So, what is probably your excuse me, what is your best travel experience?
Oh gosh.
I
don't remember
traveled
I
all
don't remember
over
the
the
good
world.
ones. You never remember the
Yeah.
good travel experiences. You just remember the times you got stranded at the airport. Those are the ones I remember. I remember being stranded and being like, oh my God. I remember getting stranded when there was a tornado in 2013 before everything was super technical and online, and I had no idea what was happening. And then suddenly there was a siren and everyone disappeared into the bathrooms, but I didn't understand because I was Australian and I didn't know what was happening. But there was a tornado coming, and I didn't realize that until I looked out the giant window of the airport and saw the freaking tornado. And then I was like, well, that's not good. And then I went into the bathroom and went, oh, that's where everyone went. I definitely remember, I remember the bad experiences far more, you know, because ideally most of the experiences are good and great and amazing, and you don't have to, and therefore they're not significant in my memory. Just the bad ones.
So I'm not sure if you've seen our little show here before, but we like to play a game with our guests, and we like to call that game Shock Therapy.
Oh my God, it's just me. Okay, I was like, oh no, it's just me on the screen. This is scary.
Now, the way this game works is we'll ask you 3 questions, and if you get 2 out of the 3 questions right, you will win from one of our viewers a signed poster at the next NGW show. And this
Sounds
week
good.
you're going to be playing for Amber Williams. Are you ready?
I guess.
Now, as we've said, you are originally from Australia, and one of the things that around the world, I think Australia is most known for are the abundance of dangerous animals.
Okay, yes.
So the questions for you this evening are going to be about Australia's most dangerous animals.
Okay.
All right. And your first question. Which legendary Australian creature is said to drop from trees onto unsuspecting victims? A. Drop bears. B. Koalas. C. The overhead omen. Or D. The furry flying pile driver.
It's the drop bears. They're horrifying. They're so scary.
Is answer A. And you're right. The drop bears. So, little side story. I actually went to school with the lady from Australia many years ago, and she was constantly telling me I never wanted to go to Australia because of the drop bears.
Yeah, they'll
And
get
she
you. They'll
explains
get you,
to
man.
me that that's why everybody in Australia wears big hats, because they attack bear heads.
Exactly. You got the facts from a true Australian. I'm glad that someone was at your school was educating you on the true most dangerous animal in the Australian wildlife.
Yeah, they sound absolutely terrifying. All right. So, one question down. Question 2. Which Australian animal is often called the world's most dangerous bird? A. The emu. B. The cassowary. C. The big angry drumstick. Or D. The feathery freight train.
I mean, I want it to be the feathery freight train. But I'm going to say emu.
The emu? Why the emu?
I don't know. Because I don't know what any of these other ones are. I mean, cassowary where might be an actual animal. I just don't know.
So you're going with A, and the correct answer is B,
Oh, it is a
the
cassowary.
cassowary.
I don't know what a cassowary. I don't know what that is.
You know, I'm not entirely sure myself.
I've never. I need to do a little quick Google. Need a little. Oh, okay. It's like it looks just like an emu. Okay, how was I supposed to? How was I supposed to know the difference?
Might be Emu 2.0.
Yeah, I was like, emus are pretty scary. I believe that they're pretty dangerous.
We have ourselves Knight in the chat saying, I'm going to Australia this year.
Well, don't find the cassowaries because apparently they're really effing dangerous. We're learning stuff tonight.
So, third and final question. If you get this right, you have won the signed poster for Amber.
Oh, God, this is stressful.
Which sea creature is known for camouflaging itself perfectly with the ocean floor, making it almost impossible to see? A, the sandpaper surprise. B, the wobbegong shark. C, the sneaky sea goblin. Or D, the stonefish.
They all sound fake. Like, oh. I like stonefish is the only one that doesn't sound completely fake, right? So I have to say that one.
I'm sorry, you said stonefish?
Yeah. I genuinely don't know. I'm sorry, I dropped out of school.
Oh,
Thank
and
goodness.
it is D, the stonefish.
Oh, I was stressed. Because I do not know I don't know anything about wildlife.
We have Donde Estoy in the chat. Cassowaries are flightless birds of the genus Cassarium in the order Cassarium formis. They are classified as ratites, flightless bird without keel on their. How does Donde know that?
No, that's somebody hacked Donde's.
Google's.
Somebody hacked Donde's phone. Donde only knows tacos and num num num, and how to get in my freaking car.
That's a copy and paste, guys.
Yeah, that's not Donde.
Well, congratulations, you won the signed poster for Amber.
Thank goodness.
I mean, you were right there with the drop bears, though.
I mean, that one's very clear. That one I'm well versed on drop bears. The others not so much.
So what would be one thing that you miss from Australia that you wish was in the United States?
Just like this is gonna sound so silly because it's like you guys have cafes, but like cafe and brunch culture in Australia is just the coffee in Australia. I just like as Saturday mornings you go out for brunch, you get some coffee, and it's just everyone does this. This is just normal. This is like whereas like it's just so delicious and so good and so like Australian cafe. It's all I want. Cafe breakfast all day, every day. But not. I don't mind American. Like I enjoy going out for breakfast in America, but it is a very different experience to an Australian cafe.
So, is there a country that you haven't wrestled in yet that you really want to?
Ooh, I mean, gosh. Not really. Like there's I mean I would like I kind of want to wrestle in Mexico. I'm also kind of like scared of Mexico so I don't know. But I feel like that's the only country left that's like a big like wrestling country that I haven't wrestled in. So we'll say Mexico.
Well, I for one am extremely excited to see your match here in 16 days.
Thank you. Me too. I'm excited to do it, not see it. I'll be in there.
Well, I will try my best to get some absolutely amazing shots in the match for you.
Thank you.
And Scott, I'm sure, will do his best to count to 3.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll do my best. Where can anybody see you? Is there any shows you got coming up you want to plug?
Everywhere in the world. If you go to ShazzaMcKenzie.com, you got all my links. I'm constantly posting on Twitter and Instagram. I'm very bad at Facebook. Please, I'm so bad at Facebook. Do not message me. It will take me weeks to reply to you because I do not check it because I'm so bad at Facebook. So I'm so sorry. But everything that's on my Facebook is just connected to my Instagram. Like my posts are just what I post on Instagram. So I post everything there as to what I'm doing. But I'm very bad at checking Facebook. I just don't have, there's too many social medias anymore. I can't do it all. I will implode.
Oh, I feel you there. It's just way too
Exactly. Something has to give. And for me, it was Facebook. Facebook was the one that fell to the wayside.
Yep.
But I want to thank you very much for joining us, Shazza, and we all look forward to seeing you here in 16 days at Madness and Mayhem at the Lou Civic Center. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say before you go?
I'm going to win, and then I'm going to beat Lexi, and then be the women's champion.
That's first.
That's it. That's
NGW women's champion.
Fighting words. There's fighting words there.
Yep.
First ever inaugural. I love that word. Inaugural.
Well, I wish you all the luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
Thank you again for joining us, and we will see you on the 15th.
Thank you, Shazza.
Thank you.
Bye. Well, Scott.
Why am I on the big screen? There we go. I don't like my head on the big screen. There we go. That's a little better.
You don't want all the attention?
No, I don't want all the attention. Oh man. So apparently Herman got a hold of Donde's phone, and Herman told him that apparently.
I heard that Herman had an injury this last weekend.
Yeah.
I unfortunately wasn't able to attend
Yeah.
Dar's promotion
He's,
IWA this last weekend.
you know,
But I heard that Herman had a little bit of an accident.
yeah. He had a little bit of an accident, that Double H, tossed Herman. He's just a child, but Herman's recovering. He'll be all right, Unfortunately, Donde wasn't there to catch him, but it'll be all right. Herman survived worse. Herman went to Holiday World by himself, so he can survive that.
Donde saying Herman cannot use phone. He is hurt.
Well, somebody use your phone, Donde, because that wasn't you. All you know is taco and num num num.
He knows more than that. He knows how to fake taking good pictures.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is a camera guy, isn't he?
No, he's not the camera guy. I'm the camera guy.
Well, I am bringing Donde to Madness and Mayhem. He said something about he had to work the camera. I don't know what he said.
No, we'll see. But yeah, March 15th, Madness and Mayhem, Shazza McKenzie versus the lovely Miss Larkin. Scott, I know you're supposed to be impartial and everything, but who do you think's going to walk away in that one?
Oh man, it's kind of hard on that one, but I think I'm going to go with Shazza because the experience, and lovely Miss Larkin, she's making her debut, and she's been all over the states too, but I think Shazza's got more experience in that match, and I see Shazza going over because I think she wants to get a hold of Lexi Green.
Yeah, and Lexi kind of.
Yeah. So we'll see what this tournament. Like I said, we're just in the second round. The second match of this tournament. This tournament's going to be going on for a little bit of time. So we will see a lot of female contenders for that.
Yeah,
tournament.
we have. It's not just Madness Mayhem. It's over the course of the full year.
Yes. So it's too early in the tournament to figure out, what everybody, especially when we don't even know who's coming in. So, but we know that Lexi Green did advance. So this March 15th, either Shazza or lovely Miss Larkin are going to advance in that tournament.
Yes. And of course, we'll also be seeing Logan Ridge versus Preacher for the Lightning Division Championship.
Yep. First time was for that right to fight contract. This time it's for the championship.
Yep. Preacher looking to prove that, he can hold on to that championship after being very skillful in his selection of when to cash in.
Yep.
And we're going to be having Marco Hendricks, one of the newest members of PYT, going up against Sid Holland for the Wrestling for a Cure Championship.
Yep. PYT's looking to add, they're adding numbers. They added Marco Hendricks. They added Tobias. So PYT is growing. And Playboy said that 2025 is the year of PYT. Could he be walking away with the Wrestling for a Cure Heavyweight Championship?
Yeah. Never know. Speaking of Playboy and PYT, Playboy is the current right to fight contract holder for the NGW Heavyweight Championship, and we will be seeing Dexter Roswell defend that against Mickey Midas.
Yep. That rematch is going to be, the first time they met, phenomenal match. Now, the rematch, it's a little bit different this time.
Yeah. And like I said, you've also got Playboy in the mix there if he decides to come out and cash in.
Yep.
And then, of course, for the first time, for the last time, Pretty Boy Floyd's final match against Ricky Cruz.
It's crazy that this is the first time Ricky Cruz and Playboy are going 1-1, and it's happening in NGW, but also it's happening for the last time because this is Floyd's final match in NGW.
Yeah, it's if you missed last week's interview with Pretty Boy Floyd, make sure you check that out on Audible, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts, or Facebook, YouTube, wherever. Make sure you check that out. It was a wonderful time with Pretty Boy Floyd, going over so many moments of his absolutely astounding and long career.
Yes.
And of course, the tables, ladders, and chairs match. Great Heathen Army versus the Fam versus TNT.
Yep. I mentioned earlier it's 3-on-2, but we have that little diamond out there with LBK. Is he going to play a factor in this match? Is he even going to be there? We don't know. All we know is all 3 members of the Great Heathen Army are legal. So that's one extra man for that team.
And anything can happen in that match. I mean,
yeah.
The tables and chairs aren't for sitting and eating.
Nope.
We're going to have people going through tables, people getting hit with chairs. Maybe Scott getting hit with a chair.
Oh man. Maybe camera guy would get taken out by a ladder, maybe. I don't know. You never know what's going to happen.
You never know. We're all going to have to stay on our toes for that one.
Exactly. And, the only way to win is to climb that ladder and grab those belts.
Yeah, we've got Dararga. You never know what Playboy will do. We do not.
Yeah, we do. And here's the thing. Seen a post earlier about Playboy. There's no match announced for Playboy.
No, he's not announced for.
And he is not very happy about that. I know that he's not very happy because he is the current right to fight for the heavyweight championship, and he's not even on the card. So
I saw that in that post, our co-CEO Phoenix Quinn had replied to him that he needs to check his emails.
Well, maybe he has a match. We don't know. I mean, we don't know what he's going to do. All we know is he is that right to fight holder, and he can cash in for that heavyweight championship at any time.
With him being a right to fight contract holder, he can make his own match if he wanted to.
Exactly, he could. So we don't know what's going to happen, but that's why you got to be there March 15th.
Got Marcel's going, no one cares about Playgirl Double H.
Well, he's got a little bit of worry about with that tables, ladders, and chairs match.
I don't think Marcellus Knight and Alex Steele are very worried about that match.
I don't think they are. I mean, when we had the Heathen Army on, they didn't seem very worried about it either. They seem they're ready for it.
Marcellus Knight and Alex Steele, I think, at their last encounter at Endless Winter, I think that they had that match won.
Oh, they had it.
The Great Heathen Army.
They had 100%. The referee was literally in
the 3 count.
Yeah, it was literally right for the 3 count, and they jumped from behind. And I mean, they were trying to prove a point out there. I mean, they, because earlier that night, the fam came out with the Great Heathen Army stuff, and they took that as a sign of disrespect, and that's what forced them to come in and invade in the match, which of course led to the TLC match.
Yeah, that it's just gonna be something else. I mean,
yes.
we've had a ladder match in New Genesis Wrestling before. That was actually for the first to crown the first ever New Genesis Wrestling Lightning Division champion. Was the first ladder match. But this will be the first time we'll have a tables, ladders, and chairs match.
Yes, exactly.
And they have to win it by climbing the ladder and grabbing the titles as you would in any other ladder match.
And like I said, TNT don't even have to be a part of anything. They can get taken out within the first 30 seconds of the match, and then it could just be the fam and the Great Heathen Army.
Or the fam could get taken out, or the Great Heathen Army could get taken out.
I mean, anything can happen in this match. There is no rules. It's just going to be a complete. I mean, they're all trying to prove, who is the better team. Obviously, they're trying to prove who's the number one. TNT came in, in a little controversial fashion, won the tag team titles with a little twin match
in their debut match at New Genesis.
In their debut match, and then the rematch. Looks like the fam was getting ready to win, And right as soon as the referee was getting ready to hit 3, here comes the Great Heathen Army. They decided to make their moment right then and there. And now, we got this TLC match.
Jonathan in the comments going, he does remember that ladder match, which was the very first show he attended.
Yeah, that was,
Looks like we made a fan for life that night.
Yep. I mean, this match is going to be, way worse than that ladder match, I guarantee you.
But thank you, everyone, for joining us here tonight. And I also want to say a special thank you to our sponsors, Nick's Home Decor, Bi-State Termite and Pest Control, Needful Things Boutique in Mascoutah, Illinois, Laser Monkey Engraving, and Ringside Buffet in Mount Vernon. And Scott, do you have anything else before we go?
Nope. I'm just, I'm ready for Madness and Mayhem. We're getting closer. 16 days.
Me too. We said it before Endless Winter, but at one point it seems like it's so far away, but before you know it, we're right there on the precipice of it.
Exactly. And, we'll be back next Thursday, with another guest. So make sure you guys keep up with the Facebook page where they will announce our next guest for next week.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us and have a great evening.